Hi, I want to speak about a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. So here it goes. What would the world be like without nurses? Could you just close your eyes and think for a moment what it would be like without nurses in our hospitals? Our healthcare facilities would just crumble in an instant. Medication and drug errors would increase. Questions would go unanswered. There would be no one to educate our patients about their condition, how their medications will work, or how to even care for themselves after they're discharged. There would be no alleviation of patient fears. There would be no emotional or spiritual support for the patients when family's not around. There would be no one to change a patient's diet after a patient is NPO or nothing by mouth following a procedure. There would be no one to notice signs or symptoms in a patient's change of status. There would be no one to advise a certain medication that is contraindicated in elderly patients. There would be no advocate or fight for pain medicines to be increased when they're not adequately effective or adequately working. There would be no one to notice abnormal lab results such as an EKG, electrocardiogram, which is extremely important. There would be no one to notice a change in a mental state before it becomes a more serious issue. There would be no one to do the little things that are actually huge things to someone who is ill, such as something as simple as brushing their teeth when unable to do so themselves. Frankly, patients would have no quality of life without nurses. Honestly, I can't really even fathom a world without nurses. Doctors can't do their job without nurses. Nurses are the ones who gather all the information, the signs, the symptoms, the lab results, everything, in order to figure out what's going on with the specific patient's issue, and then relay that message to the doctor. Who would do that? How would doctors be able to treat a patient without nurses? It's impossible. And I just really could not even imagine, because nurses wear so many hats and play a variety of different roles that are so important to healthcare of individuals. And to name a few of those roles, nurses are caregivers, they're teachers, they're problem solvers, counselors, communicators, advocates, evaluators, supporters, and even critical thinkers. Nurses help patients live longer, healthier, happier lives and care for the patient holistically, which means that nurses care for the whole person, not just their signs or their symptoms. Nurses provide emotional support by fully understanding the complexities of an illness, counseling patients and their family through everything that they have going on, and giving them an understanding of their own condition. By listening and understanding the patient's wants and needs, nurses' knowledge of illness combined with exceptional people skills help to provide comfort and stability to patients and their loved ones. Nurses are also teachers, educating their patients and their families about everything from medications to procedures to conditions and what to expect in their condition. It's just, I'm at a loss for words because of how passionate and how important nurses are. And I mean, it doesn't just end in the hospital. There's so much more care that is provided once a patient is discharged from a hospital. Nurses are the patient's advocate which means they have your back and can be your voice. Nurses are the ones who make prevention a priority, provide the care needed at the moment it's needed, which is vital to a patient's recovery. And nurses don't only provide effective communication to physicians, but also to the patients and family members by using the best strategies for communication. This speeds up the healing process. Nurses evaluate treatment to be sure it's effective for that particular patient. Nurses use critical thinking strategies constantly to evaluate and effectively communicate the needs of the patient. Nurses are problem solvers by using all possible resources, creativity, knowledge, skills, and experience to address patient issues. All of these roles ensure that the patient is provided with safe, effective, and sufficient care. I don't know what more I could possibly need to say in order for anyone to understand how important nurses really are, but here's a few facts to help understand how much our world really truly needs nurses. According to globalmeterinfo.com, there is approximately 7.4 billion people in the world, and according to learningnurse.org, there are only 19.3 million nurses in the world. And by 2020, the United States alone could need more than 1 million nurses, because right now 50% of our working nurses are over the age of 50, which means in 5 years, they're going to be ready for retirement. They're going to be ready to, finish their duties and retire, and we need nurses that know what they're doing. Once these nurses are retired, it's up to the ones who are being educated now to provide proper care to society. Without nurses, effective healthcare would be impossible. Healthcare facilities would collapse in an instant. Nurses are important. Without them, nobody, not one person, would be able to be effectively cared for by a physician. Appreciate your nurses. Understand what they do. The small things, the big things, it all truly matters. And nurses are so vital to proper care for any patient. So next time you see a nurse, tell them thank you. Shake their hand. Give them a hug. Don't give them such a hard time. You don't know half the battle that they're going through in that one day. Thank you.